Okay, this lesson is for Tuesday, May 5th. We are going to begin a new chapter in math, chapter 11, on three-dimensional geometry. That just means three-dimensional shapes. So we already know our regular two-dimensional shapes: square, rectangle, circle, triangle, diamond. This week we're going to be working on three-dimensional shapes. So to get started, we're going to review our two-dimensional shapes. So read with me the story On the Move. This is going to be all about shapes. This story, On the Move, is written by Jennifer Earnshaw. Okay, On the Move. You should be pointing in your book and reading with me at the same time. All right, so ready? On page 450, point, read. The train car waits for the engine. Name some shapes you see. So look around. What kind of shapes do you see? What kind of two-dimensional shapes do you see? And what do you think this train car might be carrying? What is it going to bring? Okay, point, read. The big truck travels up the road. Name some shapes you see. Okay, so look here. What kind of shapes do you see in this one? And what is this truck bringing? Point, read. The ship loads at the dock. Name some shapes you see. Okay, some shapes that you see here. So, here. Oh, look at that one. Point, read. These trucks drive across town. Name some shapes you see. Think about what this might be. These. The airplane arrives at the airport. Name some shapes you see. Okay, you're going to write about the story, and so think about another kind of truck that takes goods from one place to another. Go ahead and draw a picture of a truck that you want to make. Use circles, squares, triangles, and rectangles in your drawing. Okay? Then you're going to write about your drawing. So you should be telling me, what did you use as a circle? What part of your truck is a square? What part of your truck is a triangle? What part of your truck did you draw is a rectangle? Use those words in your writing. Don't forget to start with capitals and end with periods. Okay. This number one, you're just going to draw an airplane. Make sure you use some triangles and circles, just for fun. Draw a train. Use some rectangles and some circles in your drawing. Okay, let's go to the Show What You Know on page 458. Okay, the first one says to circle the objects that are alike. Alike means the same. So I see a circular object and more square objects here. Okay, so this one is different. These two are alike. So I'm going to circle the objects that are alike. Okay, so you look at number 2 and you circle the objects that are alike. Which two are alike? Go ahead and circle them. On number 3, we're going to start looking at our three-dimensional shapes. Okay, so three-dimensional shapes are not flat, they stick out, they pop out. So this is a three-dimensional shape because you can see it has a flat side, but it pops out, just like maybe a Kleenex box would. Okay, this is not just a circle, it's like a ball. We call it a sphere. Okay, so it's not flat. So it's not a two-dimensional shape, it's a three-dimensional shape. Okay? This one is a three-dimensional shape because it's not flat. So this is a cylinder. And this one looks like a cone that you would eat ice cream on, and that's exactly what it's called, a cone. And I think I forgot to say what this one is called. a cube. Okay, so let's color the spheres blue, color the cylinders red, and the cubes yellow. So that means blue should be the sphere, like a ball. Okay, so go ahead and color that. The cylinder, like a can shape, should be red. Okay, like soup or a can of Coke. And the cube shape, like a present or a Kleenex box, should be yellow. Okay? All right. On the next part, we're going to mark an X on the object that does not belong. Okay, so that means that is not the same as the others. So we can see these are all cylinders, cylinder drums, but which one is not the same as the other? Put an X on it. So we're going to look at size on this one. Okay, let's go to our vocabulary words. We have the word cone, cube, cylinder, sphere. Okay, cone, cube, cylinder, sphere. All right, so a sphere is a ball shape. Okay, so go ahead and write sphere on the line. Trace it. Okay, remember, if it's an ice cream cone, that's exactly what it's called, a cone. So cone, write that on the line. O, long O, consonant, silent E. Okay? And if it looks like a square, then that is a cube. Okay? So cube, write that on the line. U, B, U blank E, long vowel. And the last one is a cylinder. Okay? Cylinders are long, kind of like a tube, and they have flat sides. So cylinder, C-Y makes that S sound. Cylinder. Okay? All right, at the bottom, we're going to look at these three-dimensional shapes and color the sphere blue. So if you forgot, go back and look. A sphere is the circle, the one that's like a ball. Okay, so go ahead and color that blue. Okay? The cube is going to be orange. Cube is like, has a square in the front, like a present. Cube, orange. And the cylinder is going to be green. Cylinder's like a tube. Okay. Color that green. Okay, good job. All right, let's turn the page. I'm going to skip a couple of pages here and go to lesson 11.1 on page 461. All right, and here we're going to be working with our three-dimensional shapes. So on this page, they just want you to sort these three-dimensional shapes. So they want you to sort the shapes, not the color. We could sort them by color because we see that some shapes are orange and some shapes are blue. So that could be one way you could sort them. Another way you could sort them is by big and little, right? Because I see some are big, and even the spheres, some are big and some are little. So you could sort them that way. Another way you could sort them is by their actual shape. So some of them are cubes and some of them are spheres. So you pick a way that you want to sort them and make two circles. So I'm going to sort them by shape. So I'm going to circle all the cubes in one group and all the spheres in one group. Okay? All right. On this page, we see again our three-dimensional shapes. Okay? So our sphere that looks like a ball, our cone that looks like an ice cream cone, our cylinder that looks like a tube, and then this one is a new one. It's called a rectangular prism. Now the reason this is called a rectangular prism is because you can see right here on this side that it has a rectangle, okay? So that's why we see the word rectangle inside that. This word, rectangular prism. And then our cube. All right, so looking at these three-dimensional shapes, we're going to sort them into three groups. So first we're going to name and draw. So that means we're going to be writing the name, which is right here. So you're just going to copy and draw it. Three-dimensional shapes are a little bit hard to draw, but it's just for practice, so just do your best. If you're using a pencil, you can erase if you need to. If you don't get it just right, that's okay. Just keep practicing. So first we're going to draw three-dimensional shapes that have only flat surfaces. Okay, so if you look at your vocabulary cards that you have in your book, some three-dimensional shapes have only flat surfaces. That means there are no curves to it, like a cube and a rectangular prism. Some three-dimensional shapes have a curved surface, like a sphere, and a cone has a curved. It means it's not straight and flat, and also a cylinder. Okay, so if we're doing only flat surfaces, we would need to draw the rectangular prism and the cube. Okay, so if you kind of look at the way they drew it here, that will help you draw it. Again, it does not have to be perfect, so I'm just going to start with a rectangle shape, and then I'm just do my best here. I'm not the greatest drawer either, but I'm just going to give it a try here. And something like that. Okay, not perfect, but that's all right. And I'll write it so I know what it's supposed to be. Rectangular prism. Only has flat surfaces. Okay, and then a cube. So I know a cube has a square. So I'm just going to try to do my best here. There we go. About the best I can do. Cube, U blank E, cube. Okay. Again, it doesn't have to be perfect. Just do your best. Okay, so only curved surfaces would be ones that have curves only, but no flat surfaces. So notice that a cone has a curved surface, but it also has a flat surface. So it cannot go on only a curved, okay? A cylinder has curves, but it also has a flat surface on the top and the bottom. So that cannot be only a curved surface. So the only one that has only a curved surface is the sphere, okay? So that's just a circle. And if you want to show that it kind of sticks out, you can kind of draw a line like that through the middle, and then the dotted line that kind of shows the back. So it kind of looks like it's a ball, okay? Sphere. Okay, now for both flat and curved surfaces, now we want to look at the ones that have a flat surface, also curved. And that would be your cylinder and your cone, okay? So if I look up here, I can see they kind of make it like this. Make that little dotted line there. So that's my cone, O blank E. And my cylinder, there we go, not bad. Getting better at this the more I practice. And then the cylinder, okay? All right, we're going to look at our three-dimensional shapes and write how many flat surfaces for each shape. So they're starting with a rectangular prism, so let's look at the rectangular prism. And how many flat surfaces does it have? So it has one on the front and one on the back. So that's 2. And then it has one on the top, one on the bottom. That's 2. So 2 and 2 is 4. And then it has one on the front and one on the back. So that's 6. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So it has 6 flat surfaces. Okay? So how about a cube? So a cube also has a front and a back. It has a top and a bottom, a left side and a right side. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It also has 6 flat surfaces. Okay? A cylinder is like our tube shape, has a flat surface on the top and the bottom. Like think about a can, okay? So it has 2 flat surfaces. A cone has 1 flat surface, 1, okay? Now you're going to use these words. I highlighted them because I wanted you to make sure you paid attention to them. So you're going to use these words to identify the shapes here. So you're just going to write it just like they did. So a ball, like a soccer ball, is a spear. So they wrote it here because it's not up there because a ball does not have any flat surfaces, right? A sphere. Okay, but a cone, so you're going to go find the word cone and write it. Okay, a block, would that be a rectangular prism or a cube? If you see a rectangle shape, then it's a rectangular prism. But if you do not see any rectangle shapes, if you only see square shapes, it's a cube. Okay, a can, okay, which one is that? And if you don't remember, look at your vocabulary cards. And a book. Okay, so now this one's, I see here a rectangle shape. If it has a rectangle shape, then you should know what one it is. Okay, you have your vocabulary cards in the front of your book and they have all the shapes identified. So if you need to look at that, go ahead. Okay. We're going to circle the objects that match the clue. Kelly drew objects that have both flat and curved. Both. Okay, so if we want to look up here, this is all flat, this is curved, but which one has both? So this has curved, but it does not have flat. A cone has a curved and a flat, so I'm going to circle that. A rectangular prism only has flat, no curved. A cylinder has curved and flat on the top and the bottom, so that one you're going to circle. Okay, number 14. Sandy drew some rectangular prisms. Circle her rectangular prisms. Remember, it has the word rectangle in it, so it must have a rectangle. So if you see a rectangle shape, then you need to circle it. If it's a square shape only and no rectangles, do not circle it. Okay? So I see another one, so I want you to find one more rectangular prism and circle it. Number 15. Match each shape to the group. Okay, so we're gonna, these blue dots are for the 5 shapes, okay? These 3 blue dots are for the groups, and we're just gonna draw lines and match. We have done something like this in our other books. So this group needs to have both, pay attention to that, both flat and curved surfaces. This one is only flat, and this group is only curved. Okay, so if I start with the first shape, a cone, does it have both a flat surface and a curved surface? So remember, a cone has a flat surface and a curve. So if it's both, go from the dot under the cone to the group both flat and curved. Okay, a cube has a square shape. There are no curved surfaces, only flat. So this one cube goes to the only flat surfaces. The cylinder has curved and flat, both. Because remember, we circled that up here. So we know it's also going to the both flat and curved surfaces. A spear, does it have any flat? No. So it can't be both and it can't be only flat. It has to be only curved. So it's going to go to the last group. And a rectangular prism has flat, 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 no curved. So only flat. Remember, rectangular prism has a rectangle shape. So it goes there. Okay? If you would like to continue on, do some practice drawing some more shapes. The more you practice, the better you'll get. Go ahead and go on to the white pages. Okay, have a great day.